All being said, it is still a 2.5-hour silent movie. That runtime in any movie requires some patience, and while the film does a lot of great things, it is still a silent film that's hard to get adjusted to at first. I feel like once you get into the first 40 minutes or so, you can kind of get into the groove, and if you're more familiar with silent films, then you've probably already seen this one. I really watched the 1927's Metropolis so I could finally watch the animated Metropolis based on Osamu Tezuka's manga, which I was under the assumption was based off of the old silent German film, but reading some trivia on the IMDb's, it says the film was actually inspired by the poster, not the actual film itself. Apparently Tezuka never watched the film, which I call horseshit because there's a ton of parallels. Where the old film is about classism and an aristocrat goes among the poor people and falls in love with a woman who's the face of a rebellion, this is more of a noir, futuristic chosen one kind of story. The parallels are the class systems and the structure of how the worlds work, more than the main plot beats, if that makes sense. But you could also pinpoint a lot of characters in this film to be inspired or based off of the characters in the 1927 film. Both films feature a multi-layered city where the lower levels are the power of the city above, a barren type going for political power, a new fantastical machine, and a lower class looked down upon. In the animated film, instead of the lower class being the people who work in the city, they're robots. The 2001 animated film follows a detective and his nephew coming to Metropolis to find a doctor who's been known to be a black market organ trader. Along their way, they team up with a robot detective when the doctor's lab catches fire. Inside the lab, the detective's nephew, Kenichi, finds Tima, and they get separated from the detective and the robot. Tima and Kenichi must meet back up with the detective and the robot, but Tima has a secret that's coming for her. It's a really solid narrative, and honestly, a lot more quick pace compared to the silent film. Visually, this movie is stunning, and the animation is absolutely beautiful and striking. From the world design to Tezuka's cherub-like characters and artwork, mixing 2D elements and 3D elements, and just the vivid array of the color palette makes this one stand out as a masterpiece in animation. I also really love the jazzy score to the film that fits this film really well. There's a lot to love here on a presentation level, that's for sure. I'm sure that this one being a talkie and not a silent film made me more engaged with the narrative side of the film than the 1927 one, but as a narrative, I did really enjoy the structure of this film more. Maybe it's because of the presentation makes it more engaging, but I really enjoyed the characters. Rock was a good villain, he felt very unpredictable. Tima and Kenichi's bond was fun to watch grow, and the detective and the robot was also fun to watch to run around this giant, massive tech city. I've been putting off watching this one for years now, so I could watch the original first, which honestly, I didn't really even need to. Sure, I found some things to appreciate in this film since I did watch the original beforehand, but it's not necessary to watch this one after the 1927 film. You can watch this one on your own. However, I would say that both films are kind of unnecessary to watch, and I really enjoyed both of them. Personally, I enjoyed the animated film more. Tezuka's story I found to be, at least for me, more engaging than the original, but both are kind of, in my opinion, essential sci-fi viewings. They're awesome. Just check these ones out. The Passing is a film a friend of mine gave me for my birthday. It was a birthday present for my birthday. It was put out by Vinegar Syndrome, which is a label that, while they do great work on their releases, they give really great restorations, really good box art, and a bunch of bonus features, has a lot of releases that I wouldn't normally be that interested in. But the premise in the box art does pique my curiosity with The Passing. After watching it, I'm not really sure what this film is about. The film follows two old people as they're being old, when one of them gets a body transfusion and returns unrecognizable, which is the plot summary. However, there's large chunks of the film with this random killer guy. Alright, what's up? What's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, whatever time you're watching this in. We are playing some Cauldron Torex once again. Some Cauldron, Witches Familiar, Cauldron Familiar. I mean, the Torex deck that runs the cat, right? We're running that again. It seemed really fun. I wanted to try it again. First and foremost, though, I do want to say this before we jump into anything. We had another deck submission from Raging Bull. That is this really cool Orzhov Artifacts deck that I'll be playing probably tomorrow. And then we also had a really cool one submitted by, I'm going to say the name wrong. It's like Darice. I apologize if I'm saying the name wrong. Which is this really cool Dragon Skull Knight deck. Now, it's going to be a while before I play this because it's about $40 to finish out for me. Unfortunately, the expensive cards that I'm missing are like Utopia Sprawl and Prismatic Strands. So, and Crimson Commodore Fleet. And, no, I think Tangle's cheap, if I remember right. I think Tangle's cheap. So, it got a little bit to sink into doing this one, especially the Prismatic Strands. So eventually I'll get to it, but let's talk about our deck of the day, which is Cauldron Torex. This is a mono black Torex list that does have a splash of Abzan. And what we're doing is we're doing the whole Torex thing, but we're doing it with Cauldron's Familiar. So we have our land base, we have 12 Swamps, 4 Vault Whispers, and 2 Witch's Cottage. Now this is where I changed the deck up from the last time I played it. Mere Retrievers are gone. I didn't like the card in the deck personally. I didn't see why it was here, and I think it's going to be better off. Maybe let me reread what Mere Retriever is. Maybe I was playing it wrong. Yeah, whenever it dies, return target. Okay, so yeah, I'm not super duper crazy on Mere Retriever here. So what I've changed out, we went down 2 basic swamps, went up 2 witches cottages, which I just realized. I think. Okay, no, I did that right. Alright, never mind. I thought I maybe had the deck list wrong in the description. We went down the 4 Mere Retrievers for 2 Stinkweed Imps and 2 Gloomfang Maulers. Gloomfang Mauler has just been a beast of a card, and I'm hoping that maybe with a Torex shell, and one that doesn't have like Tribe Elder or something like a similar effect as Tribe Elder, we can use Gloomfang Mauler to get more lands out of our deck. At least that's my initial thought. So we'll see how it works. I definitely feel like Stinkweed Imp was kind of wanted to try to find your Cauldron Familiar so we can start doing things, you know. But the rest of the deck is the same. We have 4 Carrion Feeders, 4 Cauldron Familiars, 4 Torexes, 4 Village Rites, 4 Energy Refractors, 4 Deadly Dispute, 2 Crypt Rats, 4 Marauding Blight-Priest, 2 Stinkweed Imp, 4 Golgari Brownscale, 4 Bartered Cow, and 2 Gloomfang Maulers. Sideboard-wise, we have 3 Contaminated Grounds, 2 Crypt Rats, 1 Fleshbag Marauder, 2 Faerie Macabres, 3 Snuff Outs, and 4 Sylvok Lifestaff. Now, what this deck is trying to do is utilize Tortured Existence, the enchantment, and Dredgers to fill up your graveyard, so you have basically draw power. And then we're going to cycle cards like Golgari Brownscale, Bartered Cow, Cauldron Familiar, and Marauding Blight-Priest to kill our opponent. Marauding Blight-Priest is whenever you gain a life, each opponent loses a life. Every time you loot Brownscale, it burns them for 1 and you gain 2. Bartered Cow, when you discard it, creates a food token. When you sacrifice a food token, if Cauldron Familiar is in the graveyard, you can return to the battlefield by sacking that food token. And then you could lose a life and gain a life. So potentially you're gaining a life and your opponent could be losing 2. Using Carrion Feeder as a sacrifice outlet plus a beater. Using Village Rites and Deadly Dispute as sacrifice outlets and draw power. Using Gloomfang Mauler as a deck thinning source, or so to speak, but to get multiple Torex triggers. And being a huge thing, Crypt Rats to clean up the board. It's a fun deck. It's a fun deck that I'm excited to run back again because I had a great time playing it last time I played it. So let's try this out. Like I said, tomorrow we'll try out the Orzhov Artifacts deck. I also looked into the Poison Storm, and the Poison Storm, I'm like $40 away from finishing too. So that's going to have to wait. What's up, Raging Bull? I was just actually talking about your This hand. This is not a good hand. We have Torex, though, but we have nothing else. I think this is a mulligan. Talking about your Orzhov artifacts deck that I'll probably be playing it tomorrow. This hand is worse. Well, we're keeping it. We're going to bottom extra Torex, Crypt Rats, and probably... It's going to sound weird, but maybe Deadly Dispute. No. Lead on this. Not a very good start. Let's not show him Torex unless we have to. Let's try to get a Carrion Feeder out. But yeah, so the Poison Storm deck is a little ways from finishing off. But I saw that Cooper the Red is back. Okay. I saw that Cooper the Red is back, so if with Cooper being back, I'm assuming this is ninjas of some kind. He played this really cool proliferate black sack deck that I really want to check out. I'm hoping I don't have... You did that backwards. Well, they're a ninja deck. So I want to check that out too, because it looks really cool. And I don't think it's going to cost like anything to finish, because I have almost all the expensive cards already. So I might be checking that out later this week too. Plus, it's kind of a strategy I like anyway. Faerie Seer, sure. All right, what are we going to draw? Land? Hey! We did it. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter that much, because Spellstutter Sprite can already target stuff. I might just try to run out this Energy Refractor anyway. Okay, yeah, I definitely am now. I guess if they go to double block it to kill it. Yeah, I'll just... Deadly Dispute it. While they're tapped down, let's try to get Tortured Existence on the field. We're not in a good spot. I mean, we did mulligan to 4, you know what I mean? But we're not in a good spot. They are down to 2 cards in hand, but they're going to get to draw off of this ninja. I'm going to play Faerie Seer. I will say this, though. If you have a deck list you want me to check out, feel free to send it to me. Links apparently don't work in chat. I have not figured out how to get them to work. So just send me the typed out deck list, I guess. I mean, what are the odds that one of these isn't Spellstutter Sprite, right? Has to be. Oh, cool. Now that's a card. We can throw the Cauldron Familiar underneath the ninja here, so I'm happy with that. Feel free to send it to me. Just send me the deck list, and I'll take a look at it. If you want me to play it, it would just be really... Cyber Cryptomancer? Yeah. I haven't seen it pop up, really. But yeah, I imagine it would be. Is this guy? No, he's from... Pick up Carrion Feeder. Discard Cow. Curse food token. Sacrifice. Bring the cat back. And if you want me to run your deck list through a league, I have a channel membership for that. You can consider becoming a member. Memberships are a monthly thing, so I understand about that. It'd be like... so rude. I understand that it would be like a... what's the word I'm trying to think here? A commitment, I guess. But also, I guess I would consider like super chats. Like, it'd be the same price as the membership, which is, I think, $19.99 for me to run it through a league. So, super chats, I would do. I will queue up a league with super chats as well. All right, so we'll lead with Cauldron Familiar here and pass. Yeah, I'm fine with this. I feel like we might be starting to stabilize a little bit here. So those are ways, if you want me to play your deck list through a league, that's a way to do it. Pick up Bartered Cow. It's like a Brownscale. I don't really have much of an interest of I clicked the wrong thing. I don't really have much of an interest of dredging right now. We can gain 3 life off of this, so kind of nuking these guys' effects here. If they have another snap, then they're tapped down, so that's not counterable, so... Are you realizing that? Or was you, or do you have another snap? Okay, so it's a counter spell or a spell starter sprite. It's one of the two. The problem is we're in a situation where, excuse me, where we need to draw more land. All right, I'm just going to pass. Another ninja would really suck, though. I gotta make sure I don't misclick any of these. Come on, dude, pass priority. I'm doing stuff here. We're gonna attempt to fire this Village Rites off. If it gets countered, it gets countered. There's Spell Stutter. So they did have Spell Stutter, sure. It is what it is. If we could draw another land, though, we can cycle Brownscale twice. So we're all about like this like weird war of like of grind. Yes. Of like trying to grind the game out until we can Crypt Rats for win. That's kind of the spot we're in right now. Just not a good spot. We just need like 2 more land. Yo, I missed the deck tech. Are you still just playing Golgari? Did you go? No, this is mono black. The deck list is in the description. This is just straight mono black. This is just kind of a wacky list that I had a lot of fun with the last time I played it, so I wanted to play it again. Well, we completely negated their attack, so that's good. Yeah, yep, that's what we got going on here, is just a straight up. I don't know if it's worth trying to play Energy Refractor or not to draw a land. I'm going to, because we could possibly bait out their counters and stuff. Yeah, I kind of figured. Imagine the mailman's here, is why my dog's barking. Another Brian Barrow intruder, sure. Our opponent is running out of cards, though. And Crypt Rats, we top deck a land. I don't know if we probably just try to fire off Crypt Rats here. We already have a food token, so we don't really need to do this, but I'm doing this just to gain life before combat. Is what my plan is here. Gloomfang Mauler would actually be kind of an insane draw too, though. Honestly. Gaining only a couple life here, but is what it is. I wish Cauldron could kill one of these things so we could start trading off, but throw it back underneath the ninja. Top deck of land, though, would be our best draw here. Nope. But that's not a bad draw either. So next turn we can just loop Brownscale a couple times, which I'm totally okay with. Because we already have Bartered Cow in the grave, so it doesn't really matter that much. We just ditch one Brownscale for Bartered Cow. This feels like we're walking a tightrope here. We just need to find that land to blow up our field and actually get to be able to do so. I'm just going to do this now. Loop this a couple times. Luckily we're in a spot where they don't really have anything, I think, main deck to deal with Tortured Existence. And then they don't really have much of a way to deal with Tortured Existence, and their creatures are kind of wimpy. So as long as like we can skate by them finding more ninjas to draw more cards. You know what I mean? Dang it. They did pick up Spellsetter Sprite, by the way. Which is super unfortunate. I don't know if we're getting out of this. Like, we really need a good draw. I'm going to just start dredging here. We got to find something. Plus, we need the extra life. So, our next draw was a land. No. Yeah, the only thing annoying was being more ninjas or mutagenic growths. Yeah, mutagenic growth I'm not, like, super horrendously scared about. It's more the ninjas allowing them to draw a lot more. We're not in a good position, my friends. We're in a position where we can't repeat value on bouncing Spellsetter Sprite. It's pretty bonkers. Yeah, it's always been super obnoxious, in my opinion. I will say that we've been doing pretty good for ourselves, considering that we mulligan to 4 and miss several land drops. I feel like we're doing okay for ourselves here. But we're never going to get this. We're never going to get this Crypt Rats to fire off. So that's the unfortunate position we're in. Ooh. All right. We're trying to build the fortress here, right? We're really trying here. We're trying to build up to where we can just play Crypt Rats. Even if they counter it, you know what I mean? And still be able to do our thing to stay alive. Two on top. That's not good. Our opponent just has a handful of land. I mean, a handful of land, handful of stuff. I mean, we do too, but we're a little bit more slow going. What we got on the sideboard for this? The other two Crypt Rats. Snuff Outs. Crypt Rats and Snuff Outs are coming in. I mean, we do just lose the snap, though. It is worth noting that we have been burning our opponent with the Cauldron Familiar every time it enters the battlefield, though. That is something worth noting. There's Snap. Sure. It's not that big of a deal. I don't think we die to this. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're just shy of dying to this, so... Cycle. Get our Gloomfang back up here. And... oh, we're in trouble. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Takes us to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can gain 10 life a turn. Uh-oh. There's the Cryptomancer. I still don't think we're quite... Oh, they got us. All right. They got us. Crypt Rats comes in. Snuff Out comes in. They don't want to play anymore. Boo. We win that one, right? Yeah, the life gain and their lack of real pressure is making it almost stalemate. Yeah, it's kind of making it a stalemate. But they said they had enough. They knew they weren't going to win game 2 or 3, so they decided to just scoop it up and move on. That was one little side effect that we was like slowly plaguing them with the Cauldron Familiar, that I wasn't taking into account how much damage that Cauldron Familiar had done that game. Where I was kind of like, oh crap, that was cool. Ooh. Oof. All right. Keep we got a bottom 2. Village Rites and the Cow. These are our strongest cards right here. Just get Tortured Existence out in the way. We'll start cycling Gloomfang Mauler. That's a pretty good 5, though, I feel like. Start cycling Gloomfang Mauler and... Oh, shoot. We're against the Poison Storm. A lot of people's been playing that Poison Storm, man. A lot of people's been playing it. I'm going to set a stop on my upkeep here. So the question is like... we don't have a lot to do... Yep. We don't have a lot to do against them, and even in the sideboard. So this is going to be a... Although you lose and you still win the power of mono black. Yeah, right? They're like, nope. I actually feel like Faeries is like an intermediate match for us, where it's like sometimes it feels like we're set pretty, and then other times it's like, not so much. Crypt Rats Stinkweed Imps interesting. The problem is like our opponent's not really going to interact with us much, so we need to like find a way to beat them. And our deck is kind of slow. Like our deck kind of depends on them trying to kill us with like face damage and not poison damage, you know? So yeah, I don't know how like maybe Faerie, I don't even know if Faerie Macabres would bring in. Like we don't really have anything for this matchup. We don't have like, we're not running duresses or anything, so dude, I am a fan of this. This just repeat Gloomfang and Brownscale. Heck yeah. If their reasoning... Hold on. I want to make sure I do this right. Heck yeah, I like this a lot. All right. If their reasoning for leaving the match was, this is annoying, then they really lack self-awareness on their own mono blue deck is. Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's why they left. They're like, this is annoying. Because we were like just blanking them and slowly killing them. I want to play this deck a lot. Like, a lot. I just don't have the money right now for it. Eventually, right? You know what's awesome about this? I don't even have to do it in the upkeep anymore. I can just grab a swamp and let's go ahead and put Brownscale in the grave. Actually, I'm going to start dredging Stinkweed Imp here, I think. We can start digging deeper into our deck. I'm going to... pick up Blight-Priest. So let's actually tap things right here. We're not going to play Blight-Priest this turn because we can't Gloomfang Mauler. And I feel like that's more important. I don't know how true that is, but it feels like it. Maybe it's not true. Maybe it wasn't true. Maybe I should have played Blight-Priest there. Because we could have dredged Stinkweed Imp and cycled Brownscale. Plus they had a card tap down. Sure. We're getting into the situation we need it in games faster. So I definitely, yeah, we're going to swamp cycle this Gloomfang. And then dredge Stinkweed Imp. Play Blight-Priest. And we're just trying to end the game quickly. You know what's interesting is they can put a counter on Peat Bog. That's really cool. That wasn't something I took into consideration when I was looking at a deck list. Was like that little like factoid. That's really cool. Huh. Play Blight-Priest. And pass. We can cycle Gloomfang Mauler. Which I think we're going to do. Because we're one off of playing Gloomfang Mauler. Printad Prism, sure. I will say, looking at this deck, like, I like it a lot, but man, it's slow. You know? It just beats us right here. Wait, when you proliferate, you get to pick every single thing you have a counter on? That's absurd. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay. That's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. It's pretty cool. I tapped that totally wrong. Ooh, another Blight-Priest. Meh. Rude. Well, pick up Gloomfang. All right, we're trying here. Although I don't think we're going to win this. I think they're too far on poison already. Unfortunately, we didn't find a whole lot in our... Like, we haven't found, like, our Bartered Cows or our Cauldron Familiar or anything like that yet, which is super annoying. We might just be dead here. Honestly. Well, goodbye, Blight-Priest. Well, let's attempt to play Gloomfang. I'm sure they have Counterspell. Nope. Okay. Definitely feel like Gloomfang could end a game out quick. But I'm also like, we have to be close to being dead, right? Yeah, we don't have anything in the sideboard for this. I'm probably just going to bring in the Contaminated Grounds. Just because, like, we can get rid of, like, Crypt Rats and stuff. That's not really doing a whole lot. And that's probably all I'm going to bring in. We don't have, like, Duresses or anything like that, so... This feels like kind of a weird matchup for us. Like, because we're not really an aggro deck. We're a slow, churny deck. Yeah. Let's get Crypt Rats here. It's like late game mid range. Yeah, right. All right, we're dead. That's what I figured. The problem is like we're a let's do things later in the deck kind of deck. Like later in the game. I guess we could win with Crypt Rats burn though, but I don't know, man. Creatureless Infect is a corner case against us because it doesn't care about our life gain at all. I know. It's like, yeah, it's like the only, like, it's, I wouldn't say only, but it's like one of the games, one of the matchups that literally just doesn't matter with what we have going on because it's like just can ignore what we're doing. And we're reliant on like grinding the game out with life gain until we have control. Because I feel like Torex is one of those decks that, like, as the game goes on, becomes, I wouldn't say invincible, but really hard to lose with. Like, it's one of those ones where if you can, like, stable out for a while, it's, like, really hard to, like, fight against. And our opponent does not care about that. They're doing their own thing, which is cool. It's its own thing. I like it. Ooh. This is like one of those hands where if we draw a Torex, it's actually pretty good. I'm going to keep it. Turn off the upkeep heal stops. I will say I recommend if you play a Torex deck into a league, you might want to have an upkeep stop on your set, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Torex is extremely fair, but will grind you down eventually. Yeah, I think so. I think that's like the whole point of Torex is like to start grinding you down and then winning off of value with dredging. So yeah, this feels like one of those like matchups where it's like that's not good for us. You know? Feels like it's one of those. Which it is, you know, in reality. Because this is not the matchup we're trying to play against. The other Storm deck is probably in that category too, which I don't ever... I'm going to say this and we're going to play it like next match or tomorrow, but like I don't ever see that other Storm deck like ever anymore. Like it might as well not exist. We're also getting a little bit flooded here, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I don't want to yield through turn. Torex, though, like Torex strategies has become like easily my favorite thing in Magic, though. I love it. Which one? Vinestorm? I don't know what it's called. It was the one that had... That's annoying. It's the one that has all the cycle creatures. I guess Cycle Storm would be probably what you'd call it. I think I'm gonna just attack here. Relic's annoying. We can play around Relic, though. It was like the Cycle Storm one, though. I don't ever see that one. I see Goblin Storm every once in a while, though. There's a fair shot we just outrun them here with our creatures. Leave up Village Rites if they have like an Anoint, you know? So we do have like an option of just, we're a little bit aggro this game. Yeah, in this matchup, probably just need to cast your creatures and apply pressure. Yeah, I think that's all we do here. Like I said, I'm just holding up this Village Rites forever, pretty much. Till they target something. Well, what they got this turn? They could have brought Tangle in, which is something they could have. Yeah, but now we're just like a mono black sack deck. This deck is definitely not vegan. Nope, just all gains. Something for 5-6 here? Poor cows and cats, right? We did a lot of that last game. We've not been doing that much this matchup. Tolarian wins. So they must have a bad hand. Oh, they ditched a bunch of Weather the Storms? Huh. I guess they don't really have green mana, do they? No. All right. We beat the relic by not even trying. So there's a question if we should just bring in Faerie Macabre as just a 2/2 flyer over the Stinkweed Imp. I'm just trying to debate in this matchup. What are we trying to do? I actually think we can bring in the Faerie Macabres. Leave in 2 Brownscales. Let's do that instead of Stinkweed Imp because we can cast Stinkweed Imp. Let's do that. We can try to like put on creature pressure. I think that's the play. I think it's just being super aggressive. I'm gonna keep this because of Deadly Dispute. I'm just gonna play Cauldron Familiar though. I don't think I'm gonna run out Tortured Existence yet. Oh, we have the Bartered Cow loop now. If we get a Dredger, that is. Pentab Prism. Maybe Mesmeric Fiend is valid for... Yeah, I think it's probably valid. You're probably absolutely right. I'm just going to lead up Deadly Dispute here. No, you're probably absolutely right on that. About Mesmeric Fiend. We have a tight sideboard, though. I'm not sure where we would put it, you know? I feel like our sideboard's pretty tight. What is the loop with the cow? The loop is... the loop is you discard the cow with Tortured Existence, and you create a food token. And so you can just constantly bring back Cauldron Familiar. Then we have cards like Marauding Blight-Priest and Golgari Brownscale. So you dredge, you can always pick back up Bartered Cow. You can always Cauldron Familiar stacks with Marauding Blight-Priest. But it's not like an infinite loop or anything. It's just like, it's a slow the game out because Cauldron Familiar can just block every turn. And then also, like, you can kind of like semi-aggro with Marauding Blight-Priest, like it stacks and stuff. So that's what the plan is. Although Weather the Storm's pretty solid against us. See, watch. They're going to lose 2 life here off this Cauldron's Familiar because of Marauding Blight-Priest. Where, I mean, I only gain 1, but that's the loop. It's more like an attrition thing. Everflowing Chalice. They're getting their poison cards though. That's cool. Yeah, I really like it. It's a cool thing. I found somebody with a deck list that was doing it, and then I've made some changes that I personally feel like are for the better. Personally, I think Gloomfang Mauler and Stinkweed Imp are big improvements over Mirror. What was that card called? Mirror Retriever. Energy Refractor's here just to draw, and then we can filter to actually cast like Bartered Cow and stuff to actually play as a creature. Why don't you dispute the cat? Because I'm using it as pressure, and this deck runs Anoint with whatever it's called, Anoint with Affliction. So I'm like holding it back to like, instead of exiling our creatures, it goes to the graveyard still. I'm actually going to, if they don't do an Anoint or anything, I guess it depends on what they do. You can return it with Tortured and Cow anyway. I know I can. Actually, I probably should set that up. You're probably right. See? There's Anoint. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Alright, Swamp. The other time he would, but this deck he's facing is rough, needs pressure. That's another reason, too, is keeping up pressure. That was the wrong card. I thought that was Tortured Existence. Whoops. Alright. So now we're going to put on pressure with the Cauldron Familiars, Bartered Cows, and Brownscale. I'm actually glad we played Carrion Feeder there. Because Carrion Feeder gives us a backup option to Anoint with Affliction. See, Anoint exiles our creatures, which is not bueno. So I want to... doesn't make me feel very bonita, you know? So actually, yeah. Originally, what ended up being a misplay ended up being a blessing in disguise. Attack with everybody here. Alright, we have potentially the kill. DD is a great response to Anoint. Yeah, I felt like it was too. Carrion Feeder, discard the cow. As long as I don't have a way to deal with Marauding Blight-Priest this turn, we win. I think we're going to get there in a very, like, weird way, but that's Torex for you. Did we get there? We haven't played a card, so even if they play Weather the Storm, we haven't done anything. They do have Weather, but we've not played a card, so they're only gaining 3. We still have enough to burn them for damage here. So, it doesn't really matter that much. I'm doing this in the end step, so they don't have... They didn't have that floating mana, just to make them use a little bit more resources here. I picked the wrong card. No. Oh well. I clicked the wrong one. I meant to click Brownscale. Damn it. No. Stop. Woo! We did it. Awesome combo. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a wild. There's a lot going on in this deck. Woo! That was a play. Oh, we did it. We beat Poison. We beat the new we beat the new deck, the new boogeyman of the format. I don't know how actually good that deck is supposed to be. To be honest with you, I really don't know, but we got there. Ooh. That took some big brain mathing for me. All right. This is a good hand if we had Tortured Existence, but otherwise I'm going to keep it. It's not a bad hand. I don't know who's going first here. I am. Okay. They're mulliganing to 5. Lead on our Carrion Feeder and pass. And then we're probably just going to play Volta Whispers and hold up Deadly Dispute or Village Rites. What are we up against here? It is also worth noting in that matchup with like Anoint, just Anoint in general. Okay, we're up against Terror. You can sacrifice Carrion Feeder to itself. Oh, is it? Is it Terror? You can sacrifice Carrion Feeder to itself. So you can actually you can blank Anoint with Carrion Feeder too. So just something to keep in mind when Anoint comes up, because I've seen it popping up in a lot of sideboards. So ooh, I want that on the field. They tap. They don't have counterspell here. Well, let's try it. I will say this, though. In this build, we don't have a very good way to deal with Tolarian Terror, other than just blocking it a million times with the cat. Lightning Bolt. Something to kill Carrion Feeder with, I'm sure. Okay. Don't know what that was about. Land. I'm going to play the Energy Refractor. If I can. I don't know. It might be... I don't think so. I think it's worth holding up like Deadly Dispute. I think Deadly Dispute's the better card here. Curate, sure. Yeah, I feel like Deadly Dispute's better off. Well, imagine they counterspell it anyway. There's the third land. All right. Now we're cooking with baby oil. I'm gonna... Let's see if they have a counter. They're gonna let me draw off of it. Another Carrion Feeder is pretty cool. Guaranteeing... They might have curve too, but I'm guaranteeing they have some kind of Tolarian Terror-ish kind of stuff going on here. Let's play another Carrion Feeder. I really don't have a reason to run out Blight-Priest yet. We're going to get to draw a ton of cards here. It might just be Scred. Like, not Scred, but, you know, cards. What's its face? Serpentine Curve. That's the word I was looking for. They might be Curve. Sure. Ate up a lot of their removal. That turn. We got to draw a bunch of cards. So yeah, we can just play a Blight-Priest. Try to play Blight-Priest next turn. And start brown scaling. I'm probably gonna do brown scale in the grave. I think now. Start dredging. Let's try to find resources here. Maybe become something like we mull over like a might become something like we mull over a okay. Sure. They're gonna time walk me for a turn. It's annoying, but it's not really that big of a deal. No, nothing that exciting. Hold on, we can play this land. Just run out Carrion Feeder. And pass. Dump Brownscale back in the graveyard for Carrion Feeder on their instep. What are they taking here? How's this game going? I don't know yet. I really don't. We've done some damage to them, but like not a lot, you know. I think it's worth trying to play Carrion Feeder here. Cool. Because if they go to bolt this one, we can just sack it. What's the opponent on? Some kind of Izzet deck. I'm assuming it's Curve with Terror because they have a lot of Surveil cards. But I'm assuming it's some kind of Serpentine Curve deck. But that's what I'm assuming they're on. But I'm not 100% honestly sure. Just my best assumption. It's still game one, so of this match. So yeah, I'm not super duper sure. Another lightning bolt, another counter spell. What are they gonna take here? I guess there was another curate in there, wasn't there? They take counter. Their hand is literally full of lightning bolts and counter spells. It is what it is. you know. Mismatch artwork counterspells, you monster. It's not like I do that or anything. Although I'm legitimately curious to why you don't just kill off my Carrion Feeders. Ooh! We have Cauldron Familiar. Hold on. I didn't realize we milled over Cauldron Familiar. Bloop! Yes, please. This is when they're like, what the fuck is a Bartered Cow? We're gonna do the Brownscale loop a couple times here. I have no reason not to do this. Glad I caught that. Hell yeah. It's also worth noting that we can do this instant speed now, so we can actually blink one of these lightning bolts at this point. Once it hits the field like that. So that's worth noting. Hell yeah. We milled over our Brownscale. Fuck yeah. Alright. Attack him for 3. I'm assuming the lightning bolts are coming down now. Yep, that did it. Oh, come on. Tap down for another lightning bolt. Nope. Hold on. You know what? Let's just pass. I don't have a reason to do this on their turn. But we can... I don't know. We can cycle the cat several times here. You fool. Oh. Blanked it. That's what's up. Now we can burn them for a lot too with the Cauldron loop. Dude, this deck is sweet. I love this deck. This might be one of my favorite iterations of Torex. Like, no joke. This deck is awesome. Yeah, I mean, we don't get like Writhing Necromass or anything, but like, it's pretty good on its own. Our plan here is, on the end step, try to do Cauldron Familiar as much as we want. So we discard Bartered Cow now to pick up... Actually, we can just do it a bunch with Bartered Cow. We don't even need to try to gain life with Brownscale right now. So, because we have 2 Bartered Cows, we can do Cauldron's Cat like 6 times this turn. Make a ginormous creature, potentially. Potentially. Nope. Wrong one. Like, please don't act weird on me here. Turn it to the field. What you doing, opponent? If they have ice or snap, we can just do it in response. What's our opponent got going on here? What we need to do is actually cycle Bartered Cow, because as long as we have a food token on the field, we're all like super instant speed, I guess. I guess we're all instant speed, but I feel like it's safer to leave a food token on the field while we do this. I don't know what our opponent's trying to do here. All right. Bartered Cow. This is awesome. I don't even care if we win the game or not. Just doing this a million times is super awesome. We already have a Brownscale in the grave too, by the way. I'm still trying to learn like the optimal way of clicking through this deck though, because Torex is a deck that takes a ton of clicking, so it eats up a lot of your time. We got like 4 minutes anyway. I know, right? I'm just gonna pass, so whatever they're holding up, it just gets blanked pretty much. This is awesome. All right, let's go to attack in here. All right, they got there. Yay. Yeah, that went pretty swimmingly. I don't know what we want in this matchup as opposed to what we already have. I feel like we can come out Crypt Rats though. I don't think Crypt Rats is going to be great here. It's whether or not if we want to bring in Snuff Out or Contaminated Ground. Contaminated Ground is fun just because like you can screw up their mana. Snuff Out's fun because it's Snuff Out. Snuff Out might be worth bringing in just because of curve, as a way to deal with curve. They have to be curve, right? They have to be curve. I don't know what else they're doing that wouldn't be curve. So I think we're fine running it like this. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they are that it wouldn't be curve. I don't know. But yeah. This is how we do it. Oh, this is a really good hand if we draw Tortured Existence again. This isn't like a super duper bad hand either if our opponent has Relic or some kind of graveyard hate. I actually think I'm going to lead on Cauldron Familiar here. I might just lead on Carrion Feeder. I just feel like Carrion Feeder's probably going to get bolted anyway. Though. Yeah, I'm just going to lead on Carrion Feeder, I think. If it wants to eat a bolt, it can eat a bolt. I like this iteration, though, of Torex a bunch. Like a bunch. This iteration is really cool. This would be a match to find Gloomfang Mauler. Because we could just cycle Gloomfang over and over, thinning our deck out, but I don't know if we want, like, part of me is like, maybe we want more consistency with that. You know what? I like playing the cat here, actually. I'd be surprised if it eats a counter spell, and it leaves us open for Village Rites if they go to, like, try to lightning bolt the Carrion Feeder. No, it's going to eat a counter spell. Okay. Huh. Why do I always click the exile? I need the graveyard popped open. It's not yield through because we have the option to Village Rites. But yeah, I don't know about the consistency of like Mauler, if you want it up to 4 or not. Maybe we'll just have to try a deck that runs 4 just to see like how we'll go up Witch's Cottages too on it. Because you don't have to use Witch's Cottage ability. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe next time we play this, we'll go 4 in on the Gloomfang Maulers. Come on, we're like a Torex away from popping off. Ooh, that's an interesting piece of candy. I'm gonna pick up Witch's Cottage with it, just in case. Fiery Cannonade and Loose Focus. Loose Focus is definitely annoying. Swamp Cycle here. Go grab Witch's Cottage. Upkeep, draw a card. That's what's up. Play Torex. Play Witch's Cottage. Pick up Gloomfang. Yes, I actually do. Play Energy Refractor here. Draw Gloomfang. And then we can cycle probably Bartered Cow. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cycle Bartered Cow here. Actually, I'm going to cycle... Yeah, I'm going to cycle Bartered Cow here. And pick up Carrion Feeder. Then on my upkeep, I'm going to cycle Brownscale, pick up Bartered Cow. And also on their end step, bring back the Cauldron Familiar. Okay. I got the plan here. I got the plan. Ditch Barter Cow. Pick up Carrion Feeder. Bring back Cauldron's Familiar. Hell yeah. Upkeep, pick up Bartered Cow, dump Brownscale. Dredge Brownscale. Another Carrion Feeder. Is not half bad. And then attack you. They're gonna fire a cannonade away the okay, lightning bolt it. Sure. And then pass. Oh, I should have cycled Gloomfang Mauler this turn instead of waiting to do it on their turn because I hadn't played a land this turn. I didn't think about that. If I would have thought, because I was thinking I played Witch's Cottage this turn, so if I would have thought about that, I would have actually cycled Gloomfang there, play a land, pick Gloomfang back up, cycling Bartered Cow. But I didn't think about that. So that's my bad. It's a misplay on my end. Actually, I might have me cycle Brownscale. I might cycle Stinkweed Imp so we can dredge more. Something like Relic or something would be super annoying here. Swamp Cycle here. Get a Swampy Boy. Pick up Gloomfang. Cycle Bartered Cow. Bring back Cauldron Familiar. Cauldron Familiar doing its thing. We are setting in a pretty good spot. Upkeep. Pick up Bartered Cow. Discarding Stinkweed Imp. Dredge Stinkweed Imp. There's Blight-Priests. Okay. Let's go attacking. Play the Swamp. Then I don't really have much of a reason to not just play Carrion Feeder here. They counter it. If they fire a cannonade, they fire a cannonade. Like, I don't really have, like... We have the mana to Gloomfang again and Dredge, so I really don't, like, feel... Yeah, sure. I do not care about Energy Refractor at all, really, other than that one draw. It's really only there so we can hard cast Bartered Cow if need be. Honestly, like, Energy Refractor could probably come out of the deck. I'm not, like, super impressed with Energy Refractor. It could honestly be 2 more Gloomfang Maulers and then 2 other things that are more relevant. I think we're going to get to keep a Carrion Feeder here, which is super duper exciting for us. All right, they scoop it. They've had enough. Woo! 2-1. I'm going to say 3-0 because the first matchup was against Mono Blue Faeries and they rage scooped. They didn't rage scoop. I don't know what was going on their end. They won game 1 and then left after we annoyed them with a Brownscale, Bartered Cow, and Cauldron Familiar loop. And then on top of that, game 2, we out-muscled Poison Storm. And then game 3, we beat, I'm assuming Curve. I still don't know what they were. Just some kind of Izzet deck. Not really sure. I love this deck. This deck is sweet. Love it. I think it's great. Taking out Mirror Retriever for Stinkweed Imp and Gloomfang Mauler, I think, was a huge bonus. I actually don't think we need more Witches Cottages than 2. Even if we go up 4 Gloomfang Maulers, I think we're fine at 2. I learned some different interactions here today. Maybe it was Izzet Serpentine. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming was Izzet Curve, Serpentine Curve. That's what I'm assuming it was. I learned some interesting interactions today. That is Cauldron Familiar being absurd when you loop it with Bartered Cow. You can get multiple triggers. If you have Carrion Feeder, you can grow an enormous Carrion Feeder super quickly and burn them for a ton of damage in one swoop. Definitely didn't play like that last time I played it. Brownscale still really solid in this deck. I definitely think it's a 4 of. Energy Refractor is, I think, the weakest card of the entire deck. I do like its draw ability. It is nice if we want to try to hardcast Bartered Cow to have the option to potentially hardcast Bartered Cow. But at the same time, I'm almost like, why don't we just run a a white-black Swamp Plains land, dual land, that we can fetch up with Gloomfang. Go out the Energy Refractors, go up the Gloomfangs, go down 1 swamp, bring in a tap land. You know what I mean? Like, why don't we just do that? And then, because we're not playing Brownscale off of Energy Refractor anyway. We're not having 2 Energy Refractors sinking 5 mana into hardcast. If we're doing that, we're in a bad spot anyway. Bartered Cow makes a little bit more sense as a hardcast target. So I feel like Energy Refractor could probably come out. The little bonus draw is nice. And it is a nice target for Deadly Dispute. But I don't know how I feel about it. If you have Cauldron in the grave and Cow in hand, Tortured Existence in play, you can return Cauldron to play even if you have no other creatures in the graveyard. Oh, because you can do it on the stack? I got you. I didn't think about that. You target Cauldron's Familiar. The Cow goes to the graveyard, creates a token. Then, while Tortured Existence is still on the stack, you sacrifice the food token to bring back Cauldron's Familiar. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you do it all on the stack. Thank you, Piano. That's actually something cool I didn't think about. But yeah, Energy Refractor just feels like the weakest card. And I'm just curious to, like, what would happen if we went down Energy Refractors, brought in Gloomfang, brought in 2 more Gloomfangs, and Stinkweed. How does Ms. Merrick fiend? Ms. Merrick. I don't know if I'm spelling. I did spell that right. It was battlefield target ruined with non-land card and then exile it. So you could run 2 Ms. Merrick fiends main deck and try to hit them with that, with Carrion Feeder on the stack, or turn 3 it with Village Rites. I don't know. I think I'd rather have Stinkweed Imp. 2 extra copies of Stinkweed Imp in the main deck. We'll run it like, I don't think I have the white-black Swamp Plains dual land common. Images. What is it? These are not common lands. Sunlit Marsh. I don't think I have any of those. Sunlit Marsh. Nope. Card Hoarder. Sunlit Marsh. 1 penny. So I'll get some of those ordered because I know I have a bot balance of enough for that. And we'll throw in one of those as a land because we can fetch it up with Gloomfang. And then next time we play this iteration of Cauldron Torex, I'll try Gloomfang Mauler. I think this deck's awesome though. Like, in all honesty, like, I'm not just saying that because I really enjoy Torex or the Cauldron. I think this is actually pretty solid. Cauldron Familiar is an amazing blocker. You can bring it back multiple times. It pumps a Carrion Feeder like nobody's business. Works well with Marauding Blight-Priest. Works well with Brownscale. I think this is a solid Torex deck. I really do. Like, I'm like thinking about, like, I've played green-black Torex. I've played this iteration of Torex a bunch. And I think this is a very, like, pretty competitive Torex deck. And out of the 6 matches or so I've played so far of this Cauldron Familiar deck, I think Gloomfang was a big addition, and same thing with Stinkweed Imp. I feel like there's something here in the terms of, like, this might be semi-competitive. Like, this might be, like, actually fairly decent. So, big fan. Really enjoy it. Definitely going to play more of it. Sideboard-wise, there's an argument definitely for Mesmeric Fiend. I just don't know where we'd bring it in. I feel like Contaminated Ground's too good against gate decks right now. Crypt Rats is too good for the Faeries matchup. Fleshbag, we only run 1, but is very strong against Boggles, even though I've not ran across Boggles in a long time. I know it's still a thing. Faerie Macabre is just good for Graveyard Hatred. Snuff Out's also just really good, and Lifestaff's just really good for how prevalent Burn is. So maybe the Lifestaff isn't worth having just because we have so much in-deck life gain. But the first time I don't know if it was this deck or just Mono Black Sack. One of the times here recently, Lifestaff won us the game against Burn. So I don't want to, like, discount this card entirely. But I definitely feel like there's an argument for bringing in some kind of discard card. Definitely. But we'll just have to see, right? We'll just have to wait and see. But for right now, I think this is a solid deck that I had a lot of fun playing, and I'm definitely going to play this again. This is a super cool iteration of Torex. I'm also going to play the Abzan Torex again. Maybe I'll make some changes, but I'm definitely going to play this again as well. So yeah, I think tomorrow when we come back to play, I'm going to play some Orzhov artifacts that was submitted to us by Raging Bull. If you have a deck list you want me to check out, feel free to go ahead and send it to me. Links don't work in chat for some reason, so just send me the deck list. I'll look it over. If it's really cheap for me to build, like $5 or under, then I will build it and play it. And if you want me to run it through a league, you can become a member. If you want to support the channel even further, you can consider becoming a member. But just subscribing is free, and it helps a lot as well. Also, I guess I'll take super chats too to run your deck through a league. That was something I thought of. So if you don't want the monthly commitment of a membership, which I know you can cancel at any time, super chats is another way to also run your deck through a league. So I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you maybe tomorrow for Orzhov artifacts. So thanks for hanging out, and I will catch y'all later. There's links to Twitch in the description, all my other stuff, my movie channel, everything like that. So peace. I'll catch you later.